What began as an unprecedented moment with a Supreme Court opinion draft leaked is now a historic one as the High Court stays true to the draft and overturns Roe versus Wade.
So many millions of lives will be saved by this decision.
This decision is an outrage. It's illegitimate.
With that ruling, it's now up to each state to decide whether a woman has the right to an abortion.
Many states have quickly banned abortions through trigger laws, Missouri becoming the first state to do so. The draft opinion language we saw back in May was reflected in the court's final opinion, written by Justice Samuel Alito. Some quotes include, "Roe was egregiously wrong from the start. The inescapable conclusion is that a right to an abortion is not deeply rooted in the nation's history and traditions." Here's another one. "We therefore hold that the Constitution does not confer a right to abortion."
You know, this story has many angles and a lot of history, so we're taking some extra time tonight to bring you those different perspectives and answer your questions. So we'll start at the beginning, when Roe versus Wade was a landmark case for the Supreme Court. A lawsuit was filed over a Texas law that banned abortions unless the woman's life was in danger. So on January 22nd, 1973, the court struck down that Texas law in a 7-2 vote. The majority opinion stated a woman's right to privacy under the 14th Amendment superseded a state's right to ban abortion. The two dissenting justices said the argument of privacy went far beyond the intention of those who wrote the Constitution. Well, since the ruling came down, we've seen protests and rallies all across the country. You're taking a live look from outside the Supreme Court as we speak. People have been there all day since even before this ruling came down. And right now, there's a protest just beginning at Kansas City in Kansas City at Mill Creek Park.
KSHB 41 News anchor Caitlin Canute joining us now live. Caitlin, what's happening there now?
Well, Kevin and Dia, the group has gathered here at Mill Creek. You can hear people are driving by honking, showing their support for those gathered. As you take a look, you see, we would guesstimate maybe 100 people, but there are still people who are walking this way looking for parking and are coming here, so they haven't got it started just yet. A lot of signs. You can see Bands Off Our Bodies. They're passing out some of these buttons to supporters here in this crowd. So again, they're getting ready to rally. This is similar to the group and the size that we saw outside of the Jackson County Courthouse when that initial draft was leaked, and again today it is official. Of course, we're not just hearing from those who gathered here today. We wanted to make sure we heard from those on both sides of this issue, and that's what my colleague Jian Kim gathered earlier. Jian, you're here on the other side of this protest. Tell us what people had to say to you when you spoke to them earlier about what this decision means.
Well, Caitlin, like with any topic, there's been various emotions and perspectives, even just within our community today. You know, I spoke with a mom, Kelsey Walker, a mother of two. She has abortion as a part of her story. And then shortly after, I sat down with Value Them Both Coalition, a group of Kansans working to pass an amendment to the state constitution that would reinstate reasonable limitations to abortions.
For Walker, the news of the Supreme Court's ruling angered her. Walker aborted her daughter Hope at 18 weeks because she was suffering from lethal brittle bone disease. The condition would have eventually killed both the daughter and the mom. It was a difficult decision she had to make, even leading her to write a book about her grief. But she feels lucky she had a choice.
I would sit down with them like we are now and tell them my story and tell them how important it is for you to be able to make that decision so that you can save your own life.
For Danielle Underwood, who is working to reinstate limitations on abortion, today's ruling reiterated the need for such an amendment to the state constitution. She says it is the only way for Kansas to not be a state where unelected judges speak for the people.
This is really a question about having an unlimited abortion industry or reasonable limits on the abortion industry that we come together and decide on together through consensus.
Now, Underwood tells me she hopes voters will turn out on August 2nd and vote for this amendment that'll be on the ballot. Checking yes would mean that you support regulations like parental notification, restrictions on second and third trimester abortions, informed consent, as well as safety and sanitation of abortion clinics in the area. Jian Kim, KSHB 41 News.
Jian, thank you so much for that live report. You know, after that decision was announced earlier this morning, the president immediately commented he is calling on lawmakers to make access to abortion something that is federally protected. He also commented on states that enacted bans immediately. Take a listen.
The court's decision to do so will have real and immediate consequences. State laws banning abortion are automatically taking effect today, jeopardizing the health of millions of women, some without exceptions. So extreme that women could be punished for protecting their health. So extreme that women and girls were forced to bear their rapist's child.
You heard the president talk about some of those bans that took immediately. That includes the state of Missouri right here. We had one of those trigger laws that went into effect today. In Kansas, meanwhile, there's a vote coming up in August 2nd, that could have very similar effects as to what we already see in Missouri. Our I-Team reporter Ryan Takeo took a look at what this means for both Missouri and Kansas and what could still be to come.
Missouri has a trigger law that went into effect this morning, shortly after the Supreme Court's ruling became public. Missouri state lawmakers passed House Bill 126 in 2019. It bans abortion after 8 weeks, except in the case of medical emergencies. There are no exceptions in cases of rape or incest. Any doctor performing an abortion would be guilty of a Class B felony and subject to having their license revoked. Women who have an abortion would not face a penalty. Missouri is one of 13 states nationwide that have trigger laws. They too were designed to go into effect if Roe was overturned. That means over the next month, abortion bans will go into effect in these states. Right now, abortion is legal in Kansas, but that could change in August. There is now a spotlight on the August 2nd election. It's not just a primary day for November. In 2019, the Kansas Supreme Court ruled the state constitution protects a woman's right to abortion. The Republican majority in the state proposed an anti-abortion amendment that will go before voters this August. So, if voters approve the amendment to the state constitution, lawmakers would be able to approve an abortion ban. That August 2nd election is a little more than 5 weeks away. I'm Ryan Takeo, KSHB 41 News.
So that's a look again at what's happening in Missouri and Kansas and what is potentially to come. We wanted to talk to some of our local lawmakers, our state lawmakers, find out what they had to say about the ruling, and it varied depending on who you ask. Take a listen.
It is a momentous decision. Obviously, it is a total and complete victory for the pro-life cause and for, I believe, the constitutional text and our constitutional tradition. I think it's a very strong opinion.
We're going to have to buckle down and create a strong state party so that we could get candidates elected to the Missouri General Assembly. This is going to be a fire that will get us going instead of water that will drown us.
Again, different political parties weighing in on what this means for women. But we should point out that advocates for communities of color say, keep in mind that this will disproportionately impact minorities. Emma James has the latest on that angle.
I spoke with Carol Thomas, VP of Clinical Operations here at KC Care. She tells me this decision will have a huge impact on women of color who have historically already been at a disadvantage when it comes to health care.
This is a terrible, terrible decision, a terrible decision.
Thomas says women of color historically face barriers when it comes to access to care and being actively involved in their health care. That may mean they don't have knowledge about ways to prevent unwanted pregnancies, such as contraceptives.
There are plenty of health systems all around, especially in our community here in Kansas City, but the problem is how do we encourage women to come in and get that education, get that knowledge, because we can make those things available.
Nurture KC is a social services organization in KC with a Healthy Start program that provides one-on-one support to pregnant women, new parents, and babies. Healthy Start Director Shannon Williams says in Missouri, the Black maternal death rate is double that of the white community.
I just see this decision increasing maternal health issues, including maternal mortality, as well as maternal morbidity for women of Kansas and Missouri.
Williams says this decision means her organization will likely become even more strained in trying to serve those who need help.
Potentially, we're looking at increased numbers, lack of resources, because although we're looking at potentially more women getting pregnant. That doesn't mean more services will be available.
For Thomas, moving forward looks like getting much more active in the community to connect women of color with education and resources about what's available to them. In Kansas City, Emma James, KSHB 41 News.
Meanwhile, back out here live at Mill Creek Park in Kansas City, one of the organizers just got on the bullhorn asking the crowd who's fired up, and they're chanting, "We are fired up." So it's just getting started over here. I want to show you very quickly those who didn't bring signs are kind of gathering here and making their own signs. So definitely trying to make statements, letting the community know how they feel about this momentous decision this morning. Again, this protest just getting underway, but lots of folks are still joining here. We're going to stay out here live, so we'll bring you the very latest throughout the newscast here at 5 and 6, and we'll also have a recap of what you missed online at KSHB.com. Reporting live in Kansas City, I'm Caitlin Canute. Kevin and Dia, back to you.
Caitlin, thank you so much.
You know, today's decision has many wondering where they can go for abortion access. Many will have to cross state lines for care now. Clinics across the country have been planning for this day. This clinic is already in the process of moving to Illinois. The CEO says it's difficult to know they may be turning women away.
We are trying to work with them to identify other clinics that they could go to, but it is really our choices. We've always said, take everybody, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out how to serve people, and we haven't been able to say that now.
On NBC Nightly News, a look at how far some women may now have to go for abortion services.